Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
Oh, man.
Hello.
We are here, and it is 218, I think.
Episode 218.
Yeah. Episode 218, Rope Dropping Knowledge Podcast. Welcome, everyone. Glad to be back. We're recording this late even for us, and not only late in the month, but late in the day. It's like 8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific time.
Yeah, so some of you on the East Coast, you're long asleep. And
But it's a Friday, so...
Yeah, but it's also the Friday before Christmas, so people need to rest.
Yeah.
Christmas weekend.
It's a busy time of the year.
It's
at
the
least-
most wonderful time.
Busy. Like, professionally and personally.
Yeah.
Personal.
So, yeah, this is, I mean, what did we do? We did, we had a couple of giveaways. Well, actually 5 technically, right? Because we did,
5?
yeah, because we did 4 super fans.
Oh, yeah. 4 super fans. 1 December giveaway.
Mm-hmm. And
And
our
a
December,
parchment in a pantry.
yeah, I don't even think we
I
had
don't even know if I'm singing that right. I'm just...
a
blah.
parchment and a
I don't know.
A parchment and a pantry.
Parchment in a pantry.
A parchment in a pantry. I guess you could store parchment
Well,
in a
English
pantry.
is my second language. I'm
That's
going to
not-
use that for as long as I can.
Yeah, you can't use that. You can use that when you were 5. And then
What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
What is what?
What's the real lyrics?
I don't know. But
Come
it's not
on.
parchment.
You went to preschool here?
A partridge.
Oh, partridge.
A partridge in a pear tree.
I thought like parchment paper in a pantry so you could bake cookies.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sounds good.
ESL. Montessori education, ESL.
Yeah, your Montessori teachers be hitting you with rulers right now.
I know.
Yeah, so congratulations to BJ, Baby Jane. She won the crown from Moms with Magic Crown.
Yes.
It's the Christmas. I don't know if
It's called Sweater Weather Crown.
But it had like Christmas trees in it.
Yeah. Like sweater weather.
Yeah.
Because she has Christmas crowns. Like she names them different things, but this one's called Sweater Weather. Like wintry, right? Because it's white and the branches have snow.
Yeah. See, I thought, for some reason, I thought it would be called like the mistletoe ear or something.
No, it's not really a mistletoe.
Because it's not mistletoe. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
real trees. But yeah. But it's a really nice one. I always like mentioning that they light up.
Yeah, they light up. I'm going to wear it for Christmas. I got one for Christmas and I'm going to wear it to the Christmas parties that we're going to.
And you got it as a gift, and that was very nice of the person who got it for
Yes.
you. Because I put a limit on your friend spends. All your friends that you buy stuff from. No, I didn't put a limit, but yeah, it was very cool. And she even wrote a personal note. And everything.
My friends conspired
Yeah.
to.
So, and we gave away the Mickey Mouse snow wallet. I guess it's Snow Santa wallet. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the
The Loungefly wallet to 4 of our people. We put that on Instagram. And next year, I mean, we add, a few super fans every year. We're going to have additional giveaways, not just Christmas ones next year. So, yeah, all you have to do is engage with us. And engaging with us just means, chatting with us online, commenting on our posts, our stories, liking stories, entering contests. Yeah. And, basically letting us know that, you see us, you hear us, and and you want to be our friends, and we will bribe you. No. But yeah, so we have a big group of super fans now. I think it's over 20 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy to be a super fan because there's secret meetings and this. I know. But yeah, so we should count. We might even have over 30. I don't know.
think so.
Yeah, that'd be a good to look at the spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fun times ahead in 2024.
Yes.
So, we're not going to be back at the parks until January 13th.
Which is a busy weekend. I didn't realize that when we made the reservations that would be a really packed weekend. And I was told by Hannah to avoid it at all costs. And I was like, too late, because we already made the reservations. And because that's the Run Disney weekend. Or Disney Run. I don't know what it's called. Disney Run Disney. And it's first time back in 5 years. So everyone's excited about that. So, I mean, the good thing is we'll see all our friends.
Yeah.
Because Hannah will be there, Emily and Clayton.
Yeah. Probably more people.
Yeah.
So if Sylvie's there, she should show up.
Yes.
Even if she's not running.
I think Sylvie will come.
Yeah. All the locals. And then that'd be a cool thing. And then Johnny's going to be on the East Coast.
Yeah, Johnny will be at Disney World.
We should FaceTime
I don't know.
him.
Oh, yeah, he announced it. We heard about it on the podcast. So, yes, it is public information.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should FaceTime each other.
It's a 3-hour difference.
Or do a live together or whatever it's
I
called.
wonder if we could do that.
Yeah.
Like
you guys did a live together when you gave away the lightsaber.
Yeah, but that was with laptops. We have to do it on like Instagram.
Yeah. No, I
Oh yeah,
phone.
I mean yeah. We did. I forgot about that. Yeah. That'd be cool. Huh. Maybe we'll give away that ugly backpack.
Oh yeah, the ugly backpack.
It would be
I'm not carrying
Saturday,
that around
Saturday
to give away
the
in the
13th.
No way.
Well, we won't give it away in the park.
Right.
It wouldn't be an in-park giveaway.
It'll be just hello. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just have to figure out a equitable way to give it away. The 13th. The 13th would be. It's a good date.
I forgot to share the poll. Only 20% of you in the poll. Only 20% liked that backpack.
Thought it was cool enough to wear.
Yes.
Everyone else said it was ugly as
said
Palpatine's heart.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a weird looking backpack. But I think it's one of those evil backpacks that'll like grow on you like a fungus.
Well, Johnny said it's like when moms say only, what is it? It's a face only a mom would love or something. That's what Johnny said the backpack was. It's like that when moms say it's a face only a mom would love.
Mother of Star Wars lover mother, I guess. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. We'll talk about it. Nothing's set in stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to show you the backpack because I know all of
because we've been talking about it for a
like
year.
in suspense on how ugly this is.
Yeah. Because at least the Maleficent one is like more of a she's supposed to, and it's all her, and it's more classic Disney. It's like okay, but yeah, all right. So, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
But we don't have the best holiday news. Jonathan Majors got dropped.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
From Marvel.
From
projects.
It's pretty much all Disney.
Yeah.
Because he was convicted on 2 misdemeanor counts.
Mm-hmm.
One count they said is not even; it's more of an infraction, the harassment one, and then one was, it's kind of like reckless assault. Which is basically like, it's kind of like reckless assault is more. It's like the manslaughter form of assault. Like you didn't intend to hurt somebody, but you did something that you should have known would hurt somebody. So like, and I don't know what that action was, but kind of like if somebody's getting out of the car and you slam the door,
Yeah.
or somebody's like following you into the house and you're mad at them and you slam the door and it breaks their foot
Yeah,
as if it was on the door, that would be like reckless assault.
I see.
Like you should know, like slamming the door is when somebody's following you. Should
Yeah.
could result in injury, right? And I think, well, and this, I highly suspect they already they had that was a trigger to fire him. So they already had a plan because it happened like that same day.
Right. Like an hour later.
Yeah. So basically, there was already a plan in place to where if he's convicted of anything, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that triggered it, and they're like, okay. And from a PR standpoint, probably a good move.
Mm-hmm.
And then because if they didn't, because even if they tried to argue it like, well, blah, 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 or
Yeah, it's going to be like that other bill all over again, right? That where they don't do anything and then they get flack for it and then they do something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Be decisive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if they did it, if they tried to get rid of him, and I understand, and this was a smart move, again, something Chapek wouldn't have done, they didn't release him before he was convicted, right? So even though he had the allegations, technically he was still, we saw him through Loki, and we'll be, recapping Loki at the end of this episode for that. But it's a very contrived, right? Because it's kind of like you don't want to be like, oh, we're convicting this poor guy in the media, but then you don't want to try to explain away an assault or something after he's actually convicted.
Yeah.
And saying, well, no, we're still going to pay him. He's still going to be the star of our franchise.
Right.
It's going to be too big of a distraction.
Right.
We don't want protesters. We don't want that smoke. So, so from a business standpoint, I agree with it. I'm disappointed, because
he was a good actor. I mean, he is a good actor.
Yeah, I mean, and it is weird because like we still don't know because there was this video I posted to a group, not on stuff, but people could go to TMZ and watch it of him running from his ex.
Yeah.
Like all the through downtown and stuff. And like she's chasing him and she's chasing him. And it was like, and I'm like, man, you thought Ant-Man made Kang look weak, He was just, I think sometimes people just get into, I mean, look, she was injured, so it is what it is. If you injure somebody, there's going to be consequences, even if it was an accident, even if it was reckless. I don't want to like carry water for the guy. I don't know him. He's not my friend. But the implications of this are that Marvel is going to have to redo everything, right? They're going to have to
different villain.
But I think the strike might have given them a chance for the executives to sit down and think. They might have actually gotten a break having to delay everything. Because now they can sit down and say, okay, what's plan B?
Yeah.
Now, I know some people I've heard say that, Majors had something in writing that he can't be recast. Disney would be really stupid to sign something like that, especially after DC and, the Flash stuff that happened. It's like, they should know better than to do that. But then again, they put all their eggs in one basket with him, so.
What did they with the Ezra Miller guy?
Yeah, all the trouble he got into.
They recast him?
No. I'm just saying they should be aware that when you are banking
on one actor,
you're saying that this one person who you don't know anything about their personal life really is going to be able to make you $1 billion.
Right.
Because let's be realistic. Endgame and Infinity War both grossed over $1 billion. I would expect the same from the next Avengers films, right? And he was the star of at least one of the films, probably had something to do with the next one, the actual Secret Wars as well. So leading up to all of this, he was going to make them not just $1 billion, but multiple billions of dollars. And to say that, put that on one person who's not like who doesn't have a patent on like a computer, like somebody who's not like a Steve Jobs or something, that's a lot. Putting that on an actor, that's a lot,
I think with all that Kang stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they've buttoned it up pretty well. Where if they just change that Avengers movie, it's fine with a different villain. Because they showed the Council of Kang and all that stuff, but it's kind of like so.
It's
They could just
almost
leave
this
it.
is what's funny. It's almost a blessing in disguise that Quantum Mania is a disappointment
Yeah,
because now it's going to be like,
yeah. Now they could just leave it alone.
yeah, if Quantum Mania was a huge, like, super box office hit
Yeah,
that everyone is still talking about, it'd be a lot harder to deal with this.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Isn't that weird?
yeah.
Like they're failing upwards. It's-
That's what I mean. Like, it's fine. Just leave it. You know.
yeah, because no one cares about Quantum Mania. You could have a Kang scene now where you just have the armor. There's like 1,000 people in the armor without showing the face, and then just have them nuked. And then it's like, okay, that's it for Kang.
Yeah, or just don't even say anything. Just leave it alone.
You could do that, but or you could recast. A lot of people want John Boyega.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think that there was any clause that Disney couldn't beat to have somebody recast. But yeah, we'll see. I do think that the recasting is less likely,
Mm-hmm.
and a new villain, and everyone's thinking Doctor Doom. And I've talked about Doom
Yeah.
ad nauseum on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite villain in all of comics. He's going to be extremely difficult to write. It's always hard to write like a super genius because people writing usually aren't super geniuses themselves. So you have to write it. It's kind of like the same way like it's hard to write Thrawn. I gave this whole spiel about writing Thrawn. It's like you have to make if you do it to where these things just happen in his favor, it just looks cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's just out thinking people that are almost as smart as him, then it looks like just fan service. So you have to really do something to where you play the long game, to where he's doing things that you don't understand what he's doing throughout multiple movies, and then it culminates.
Then at the end,
And you're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
So that's how you write a genius, but it takes time, and I don't know how many scripts are already done and in stone, but then nothing's in stone, really. But yeah, I think the strikes might have helped them in that department as well. So we shall see. And they did, I believe, take away Kang Dynasty as the title.
Yeah, they just put Avengers
5 as a
5 or
working
something.
title. I don't think that's going to be what it's going to end up being.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, Endgame was called Avengers 4. Yeah.
They might just call it Secret Wars Part 1.
Mm.
And I think they're still going to go with the incursions and stuff. Because in the comics, the incursions had nothing to do with Kang.
Mm.
And actually, now that I think about it, the incursions in the MCU haven't had anything to do with Kang. When you think about the actual incursions, because we'll talk more about this because we're going to...
Isn't incursion like when Doctor Strange...
It's one universe bleeding into another.
Yeah, in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, those were the only time they talked about incursions.
Dormammu or whatever that guy's name, that villain.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with him in the comics.
Oh.
It's basically two universes colliding, right? And so that's not what Loki is about.
Nope.
And that's, I mean, it seems like it could be about, and we'll talk more about this in Loki. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it because it's going to be our spoiler recap. But the incursions in the comic book had to do with Doom. Had some part of it had to do with the Fantastic Four, and then the Avengers. And there's an important part, and I think I'll only mention it in Loki, but in Loki, I will explain the differences between, write this down, between the differences between timelines and universes.
Oh yeah.
Because that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. But yeah. So that no more Jonathan Majors. But I think a lot of stuff is going to be pushed on to Fantastic Four, which includes Doom and X-Men.
Yep.
So we shall see. And I think a lot of new X-Men stuff is going to be saved to later, to like phase 7 or something, is going to be moved up.
Well,
And
when's Deadpool 3 supposed to come out?
I think this year.
Oh.
Well, not this year.
24.
24.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Or 25. I don't know.
There's a lot of leaked footage and stuff, so
yeah,
it's exciting.
And now they could even do reshoots of Deadpool to where you could bring in new villains and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even think they've gotten to the... I don't know. I don't think they've wrapped on Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
So they still have time to like bring in other stuff, even if it's just an extra credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do that with all the movies right now because, again, the strikes helped them. They're failing upwards. All right. But that's where we are right now. We'll, obviously, to listeners, this is a huge story, but we'll continue to bring you news on it as it becomes available. What else do we have?
Well, Disney lost its patent to Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
So, no copyright infringement if you use Steamboat Willie to sell anything.
Yeah.
So, the Disney made a statement that ever since Mickey Mouse's first appearance in 1928 short film Steamboat Willie, people have associated the character with Disney stories, experiences, and authentic products. This will not change when the copyright in Steamboat Willie film expires.
Yeah.
So, the more modern version of Mickey will remain unaffected.
For now.
And expiration of Steamboat Willie copyright. So, yeah, basically go ahead and take Steamboat Willie and do whatever you want with it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Disney doesn't really pursue small business owners that much. Sometimes they'll have you change your name on it if you get too big on like social media. You know, they'll be like, hey, can you change that?
Yeah.
But there's too many mouse-eared looking things. Like, I think, and they license out so many things. I don't even know if they can keep track of who's.
And it's like there's a lot of like small businesses that sell mouse ears and ears, this and that.
Well, I don't think
So
they could copyright the mouse ears, but they could copyright. There's certain things, but I think they would spend more money. It's like, again, I have to bring up an HR reference, right? I always push back against a lot of people who want to just take shortcuts to terminating people because because even when you're right, the average cost of proving that is $75,000.
Mm-hmm.
And that's any business, right? That's just to go to court and prove that, no. This person who's suing us for wrongful termination is wrong. Mm-hmm. And even when you win, you still out $75,000.
Yeah.
Plus all the manpower it took to gather files and and do all this stuff. So do things right, And so, yeah, they're not going to be super litigious.
Because they're not in the business
because
of selling toys.
Suing a company that's worth $100,000.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $100,000 just to do that.
Especially if they're not solely. That's why Mattel will go after you if you sell Barbie stuff because they only sell toys.
Yeah.
Barbies.
Yeah.
Disney has all these other things they're doing, content, movie, parks, whatever. Mm-hmm. They don't just sell merch.
Yeah, and you're not hurting them.
Yeah.
You're actually promoting them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so when you sell some
ears, you want to wear it to the parks.
Yeah, exactly. If you sell pretty much anything that's
water bottles, I mean the Starbucks cups, tumblers with the Mickey whatever. Yeah. It's like, oh, this is
even
for me
the
to take to the
Grogu
parks.
stuff, that they absolutely have copyrighted. They're just kind of like, okay, like what, like the Etsy person is going to make $20,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? They would probably, if a huge company started doing that, they're going to fight it.
Right.
But,
right.
Or if it's something that makes one of their characters look in a negative light, like if they tried to like do like alcohol sales with it, or if they tried to like, make them look like a gangbanger or, porn star or something. Yeah. Then I can understand
like that walk down Hollywood Boulevard. He's like has his mask half open and smoking, and then he
Yeah.
closes the mask in
Yeah.
between. It's so horrible.
It's a hard job. Someone's got to do it.
But they did say they will continue to protect their rights in the more modern versions of Mickey Mouse, of course. Just
Well,
the
yeah.
Steamboat Willie one is the one that they.
Well, they
don't.
they have to say that because if they said anything else, people that actually could be effective legally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yep.
So.
It's going to be interesting. But I don't really. I mean, other than the only way I see this hurting Disney, like I said, is if they use Steamboat Willie in somehow negative light, right?
Yeah, and just put like Disney, whatever, like put the word Disney on it, and
Well, if they I don't know if they can use the word Disney.
oh yeah, that's true.
That they can just use Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, speaking of copyright, Disney did lose a lawsuit where they were fined $600,000 for copyright infringement with CG technology used in the live-action Beauty and the Beast. It was a jury found for a VFX company called Reardon's intellectual property with CG animation used in that 2017 Beauty and the Beast movie. So Reardon wanted profits for that, all profits, a share of all profits from that movie.
Right.
But the court found that you can't prove all the profits from the movie, to claim that. So it was just a portion of it, and of course that movie didn't make that much, like $1 billion or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's all they got was $600,000.
Okay.
So-
Well, I mean, I guess that's better than nothing, but
Yeah,
I'm sure the lawsuit had been going on a while.
yeah.
And I'm sure.
No, I mean, since 2017 at least, right?
Yeah, that's man,
And then we wanted to talk a bit about.
my sister got more in her divorce.
I know, right?
Oh God,
That's worth
I
less
shouldn't
than
say
a-
that, but
Less than a little shack in California.
I know that wouldn't even buy a house in California.
A one-bedroom house. Just kidding. But it's because the profits for Beauty and the Beast aren't as
Yeah.
much to share, so there's not really much to share.
Yeah.
Anyways, you wanted to talk a bit about what happened about Goofy's Kitchen cancellation policy. So there was a Disney content creator. He's pretty popular, Food at Disneyland. I'm sure a lot of you follow him. Anyways, he put out a PSA to make sure that people don't make the same mistake he did. But basically, during the holidays, Disney's dining reservation cancellation policy is 24 hours or 2 hours. They changed it recently that you can cancel up to 2 hours in advance and you won't get charged. This is Disneyland. I don't know about Disney World. But before it was, I think, 24 hours notice. But during holiday seasons, it's a busy time. They changed it back to 3 days in advance cancellation. And Food at Disneyland didn't know this, but he made a reservation of 5 for him and his family to go to Goofy's Kitchen during the holidays. After they spent some time at the parks, his kids started coughing. So he's like, ooh, we better not go. They're sick,
Yeah.
So, but then this was only like a day before. So he showed up at the place and said, sorry, my kids are sick. We're going to have to cancel. And they're like, oh, the cancellation policy is, he realized after he read the fine print that it's 3 days in advance and not 24 hours nor 2 hours. So he's like, but my kids are sick. He's like, yeah. He talked to them. The manager said, sorry, there's nothing we can do. So they charged him the entire full price of 5 people, which was like $350, something around there. And he's like, I left there in tears, but I knew, okay, I should have read the fine print. But who would know you just know that's the policy and you're just like, okay, file it away. You don't really read when you get the reservation. And plus your kids were sick. What are you going to do? And it's a buffet. Are you going to come there sick?
You see, that's we said this, and well, at least I said this. I don't know if you said this, but back when things were opening again after the lockdowns, and I'm just like, look, I honestly, I mean, I could change the policy by myself.
Mm-hmm.
All I would have to do is go, hey,
if you're gonna make me pay for this, then I'm gonna show up with sick kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna show up for kids. I don't know if they have COVID. Just a warning. I guarantee you they'll change the policy the next day.
Yeah.
Because why would you encourage people to come there sick?
Right.
Because you're saying basically, if we're gonna charge you money for nothing.
Yeah.
So, and I get it if it's like.
But I mean, I find it hard to believe that the manager at the restaurant said there's nothing he can do. Guest services can do something.
Yeah.
He should have called guest service. If guest services was able to refund me my lightning lane, I'm sure they would able to not charge your card.
And the thing is like, it's not like, I mean, yeah, $350 is a lot of money to a family.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing to Disney. And it's like, most people who got Disney, I mean, Goofy's Kitchen, it's hard to get.
Yeah.
So it's not like
they have to book it way in advance.
It's not like you can't find replacements though that day.
Right.
I mean, all you got to do is say, hey, we'll call you, or the concierge at the hotel be like, hey, if there's something available, we'll do, and they have like a list of 1 through 50 people or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not. You could get somebody else to take that.
I find it hard to believe what they could do.
If you really want that money, you could get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could have done it because if there was a COVID outbreak at
Goofy's Kitchen,
Goofy's Kitchen, and then I put like, oh yeah, I didn't know my kid had COVID, but they were going to charge me $350 if we didn't show up, and it's also a buffet. Mm-hmm. The biggest COVID super spreading type thing that you can have, like that again, it goes back to that HR logic. It's like, dude, you're penny pinching. You're not looking at the big picture.
Yeah.
That could be a lawsuit,
right?
And not from the guy who's you're charging. It's
from other people who got sick.
Yeah, you're encouraging people to come sick.
Because no matter what, rain or shine, you're still going to charge them.
Right. That's a dumb policy.
He was nice enough to say, I'm not going to show up because my kids were coughing.
Yeah. He's a humanitarian.
Yeah.
Not everyone is.
Yeah.
What if it's one of those families who get in fistfights in Disney? I guarantee you charge them $350. They're showing up with kids with tuberculosis.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like whatever. So, yeah, it's not a good look for a luxury resort.
Yeah.
And Disney, like it or not, is a luxury resort. Even though middle-class people are their main customers, most middle-class people go there once a year, if at all, right? So, but I don't know if this was something that he just didn't push hard enough.
I don't think he pushed hard enough because he is...
Because he's a nice
big
guy.
Influencer,
he's a big influencer, nice guy.
He has a lot of followers, so Disney.
He didn't want to look like he's
perks.
arguing with a cast member. And I'm not even saying you have to argue with a cast member. I would have just said, "Hey, man, is there anyone else I can speak to?" And I would have said, like, I guess we could chance it, but do you really want me to chance it, George? I always use their first name.
Yeah,
that's the first lesson that I used. I think my grandma taught it to me, like before we had the internet. It was like when somebody, you call any customer service and they'll say, "Hey, my name is Jane, my name is George," or whatever.
Use their name.
Repeat their first name at the beginning because that gets it in their head psychologically that you know their name. So if you have a complaint, they're going to be like, "Ooh." So for the rest of that interaction, they're going to give you. They're going to do as best as they can.
Yeah.
Even if they had a bad day. So. Yeah, I don't agree with it, but and especially for Disney, I can see if you're like a mom and pop place to where
like a health issue.
Yeah,
because
now you're. I don't think I would want to depend on the average citizen to be as good as that guy and say, you know what, I'm going to forego $350 because my kids are sick. I think a lot of parents would just bring their kids
Sick. Mm-hmm.
and we don't know what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a buffet
Mm-hmm.
where everyone's touching everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, well, that's it for headlines.
All righty.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
So our last chance to talk about the Festival of Holidays food at DCA.
Mm-hmm.
So we only had like 4 things. Like I said, we had extra tabs left over and we gave them away. But the best thing I think that we had this year is new. It's the tamales,
Yeah.
the barbacoa tamales.
You like barbacoa.
Yes, I like beef. Yeah, it was from Grandma's Recipe booth.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
That's
But I
salsa
like
verde.
tamales.
Yeah, in
Period.
general. Yeah, me too. Cause
It's the Southern Californian in me.
yeah, and it's like homemade. I mean, I think of it as homemade whenever I have
And
it.
usually I only put green sauce on white meat.
Mm-hmm.
So I use it like on breakfast burritos and stuff, you
Mhm.
know, and I use it on chicken and fish.
Mm-hmm.
But they put the green sauce on
Mhm.
beef, which was good.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And then we tried the chicken chili verde empanadas at the Paradise. It was at a cart,
Mm-hmm.
and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So
So what would you give the tamales? 8 out of 10 to me, I think.
9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
It's pretty good. The empanadas, I'd say 7 out of 10 because it's chicken.
Yeah.
Not a chicken person.
I think I'll give them both an 8. They're both good.
The other one was the Southern mac and cheese with andouille sausage
Mm-hmm.
at
That was a
Mary
little spicy.
Mashup's. I liked it.
No, I liked it, but the spice surprised me.
Oh yeah, because it says Southern mac and cheese,
Yeah.
so it has to be spicy. But I liked it. It was more like it was not really mac and cheese. It was just Cajun pasta.
Cajun
To
pasta.
me, it's like going to Jazz Kitchen or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll give that 7 out of 10.
I say a 6.
Okay, because
Yeah.
you don't like the spicy.
Yeah, and I think that was right before I had my buttered rum stuff, I think.
Yeah, it was
So
at the
my
same
stomach was
booth
still
as
like,
the butter rum.
Yeah. But then I drank that and it was good. So if I'd had it after, it'd been like better.
And then the beef brisket slider. It had smoked onions and horseradish ketchup on a pretzel roll at Winter Sliderland. Now the pretzel roll was cool, but I didn't think it was that special.
Mm.
Their sliders are always cold.
I mean, it wasn't cold.
It wasn't cold, but it was okay. I think you were expecting you like the tenderloin one.
Yeah, but
better.
that's at a different festival.
Yeah, but I thought it was 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's probably 6 out of 10. But then I don't know if it's just because we weren't in the mood for it.
Yeah.
If we would have been like hungry and that would have been the first thing we ate,
Yeah, that
like
probably
during
is
the day, it
good.
might have probably been a lot better. So I don't know if we're judging it unfairly.
Yeah,
So
it was decent.
yeah, I'd probably give it a 6.
It was
But
just
it has room to grow.
Yeah. Too barbecuey for me.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm in the mood for that. But
Yeah.
it's just not at that time of night.
Yeah, you weren't that
I'm-
hungry.
I was just like, all right. So yeah, that's it for holiday food
Yeah.
this year. So
We'll be back.
is the next one the Lunar New Year,
Yes, February 10th we'll be there.
and then the one after that is the Food,
Food
and
and
Wine.
wine.
They're all so close together.
We'll also be there March 9th.
Great. All righty.
So Disneyland did announce the return of some of your favorite shows. The Magic Happens Parade will return February 2nd.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah, and that's the one that gave us some good memories with
Yeah.
with our podcasting friends. And then Mickey's Mix Magic.
People love that one too.
Mickey's Big Magic, yeah. It starts January 8th through March 21st, and then I guess it's taking a little break and coming back April 15th
Yeah.
through 25th. Yeah, that one's pretty catchy song.
Yeah.
So that's the one that goes with the fireworks show, I think.
Yeah, that's the one where what?
Oh, that's why it's taking a break.
Xander and Vanessa dancing to
Yeah.
live.
And the reason why it's taking a break is because Wondrous Journeys fireworks show will return March 22nd to April 14th.
People love that.
Well, you haven't seen it.
I'm sure I've seen it.
I saw it with Carrie.
I saw it. I've seen the fireworks go up.
No, it's the show, the projections and the music and the fireworks together. That's what Wondrous Journeys is about.
Fireworks are fireworks.
I know, but if you just see the fireworks from the hotel, it's not the same.
I know. I'm just gathering hate from people.
Yeah.
all your friends are just.
I mean, we're not fireworks people, but I know it's a popular show because that's the Disney 100.
I'm poking fun at people. I'm being a troll. I know people love it. So.
I know. Well, there's a little poll going out on whether Wondrous Journeys is better or Happily Ever After at Disney World is better. And so, both.
I say the best fireworks viewing spot is your hotel room.
Then there's no show. There's just fireworks.
I get, I don't know. I think maybe it's because I do like. I'm not like I think I'm more of an introvert. I was a video game person.
You don't like standing in the crowd and being in the way.
Yeah, being a bigger guy, I'm just kind of like, I get claustrophobic,
And then we only go on Saturdays, so it's a bigger crowd.
Super crowd.
So the time that Carrie and I went, it was a Tuesday or something, and so there wasn't a lot of people around.
But here's the thing, though. I am a gang leader. And what I mean by that is that if I'm with a group, like certain activities that I wouldn't do with just me or just me and you, I'm more apt to do. So like we do parades, but when we were with podcast Mics for Magic, that was a blast for
Even
me.
then, you went and stood in the back where the bench was.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
And so I think if I'm with a group, I would enjoy like fireworks and stuff more.
And that's the reason why most of the people we talk to like Wondrous Journey and Magic Happens, because they watched it. It's the experience that when they watched it, it was with the whole group.
Yeah.
And they had fun. So it stuck kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, at least that's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't get emotional with you, Tracy. What are you doing?
I'm trying to look for the dates of the other stuff.
Who cares?
Yeah, a bunch of stuff's coming back.
Yeah.
So much for quality over quantity of our podcast.
Yeah.
We never come back, and now we're back. We're like, yeah, a bunch of stuff's coming back.
But
it's like, Disney announced the whole year calendar. It's like Lunar New Year, festival.
Yeah. Lunar New Year is going to be in February.
Oh, here it is. Okay. So it's Lunar New Year, January 23rd through February 14th, or 18th, sorry. Celebrate Gospel, February 17 and 24. Food and Wine Fest, the important one, March 1st to April 22nd. Season of the Force is back. Star Wars Season of the Force, April 5th through June 2nd.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
And
long.
you know what else is back? Pixar Fest.
Ah.
I didn't even know it was a thing because that only came back, only happened once when they premiered or opened Pixar Pier. But Pixar Fest is back.
Well, they got a
April
new hotel.
26th. Oh, April 26th to August 4th. So you'll have like parades with Red Panda and all that stuff.
Red Panda.
I forgot his name or whatever. Isn't that his name?
Well, the red panda is the type of species. Yeah. They didn't have a name. There was multiple red pandas, but Turning Red
Turning Red.
is the name of the movie. Yeah.
Yes, but he's Red Panda. Or she.
Well, she.
May.
May.
Panda version of May.
May.
Like Hulk and Banner.
Yeah.
Red Panda and May.
Yeah.
Okay. Halloween time is going to be August 23rd to October 31st. Plaza de la Familia, August 23rd to November 2nd. And then Festival of Holidays again next year, November 15th.
Mm.
So they just released the entire year calendar, so you can plan ahead and do whatever you want.
That's good because it makes it look like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, that's a bunch of cool things
yeah.
for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And
it
then,
makes it easier to plan too.
Yeah.
So especially me, a gang leader, when we want to get people together, now we have an entire year calendar to plan stuff.
Yep.
Remember, like we were doing a podcast, Mics for Magic, but we didn't know when they were actually going to close Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard.
They literally only told us what was it?
Like a month in advance, I think.
A month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everyone had to arrange,
Take
all this.
PTO and all that stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, is going to debut fall 2024 at Hollywood Studios. This is Disney World side. So there's going to be a little musical for Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
And then today or yesterday, what happened was there was a little scare at the Disneyland Hotel at the Fantasy Tower where everyone had to get evacuated because there was reports of a shooting, but thankfully it was only a hoax. Dozens of police officers responded to reports of a shooting, so they evacuated everyone. But yes, thankfully it was nothing. It was just a hoax, and they were pranks by teenagers.
Yeah.
It was a prank by teenagers.
Scum of the earth. Unruly wretches.
Yes.
and here's and again, I go
Gen
back.
Alpha.
I go back into my HR safety mode. It's kind of like that's horrible what they did. People were
Yeah.
probably scared.
People were
But-
scared.
I'm from a high level point of view. I'm glad that Disney knows how to react because
yeah.
Disney, because nobody messes with Disney really,
Mm-hmm.
and so sometimes I'm wondering if they get soft
Mm.
because I mean, I hate to say it, and I don't want to sound negative and even put that out into the universe, but Disney is a soft target because
Look at all those fights that nobody comes to break.
yeah, but there's no weapons once you get inside typically.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just saying that if somebody like really wanted to do damage, Disney's a place to where you could make a name for yourself if you're a terrorist, domestic or foreign, So or just a crazy person, right? So I
Look at how long it took the naked guy to get arrested.
yeah. So I think these soft things, I treat it as a fire drill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, I obviously it disturbs some people, but so would a fire drill. Well, a shooting's probably a little more scary, but because it's more visceral. But at the same time, nobody got hurt, and now Disney's like, all right, maybe there was some holes here. Maybe there was some this. Maybe we need to patch this up. Maybe we need to do this up, because you do not go through metal detectors to go through hotels. You do not go to medical detectors to go into parking structures.
But you do through
Just to get into the parks.
yeah. Or
downtown
Disney.
Disney. Yeah.
So at least there's that.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's tens of thousands of people outside of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm treated like a fire drill, treated as a blessing in disguise. Nobody was hurt. And, prepare and update your stuff. And make use, turn, well, I would say lemons into lemonade. It's not lemonade, but yeah, be good at what you do, because
diligent.
there's a lot of people who are putting their safety in your hands the same way as they don't want to get sick at buffets.
Yes.
So
That's the one. Again, Goofy's Kitchen's also in Disneyland Hotel. So
yeah.
Disneyland Hotel has a lot of updating to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So, as we mentioned earlier, we are going to do our recap of Loki. I know that it's not very Christmassy, but we do have a little small giveaway that we do with every one of our spoiler giveaways. But if you don't want to be spoiled, just cut out when you hear the chimes.
Well, and we just want to wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Do we?
Because this is our last episode before Christmas.
Okay, yeah.
Lame.
Okay. Okay.
Well, hope y'all get to spend a lot of time with your families.
Yeah.
And Happy New Year, because we're not going to... Are we going to do another episode?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
It
Well,
depends.
If we
Depends
don't
on-
talk to you, then Happy New Year, too.
Yeah. We might we'll do a little something before New Year's. I don't know what it will be. Maybe
Oh.
we'll either do a podcast or another giveaway. Or
Okay.
both.
Another giveaway? I don't
Yeah.
go to the post office.
I said you can go to UPS or FedEx. You the one that goes to the post office. You like going to the post office.
No, I don't like going.
Well, it could be a gift card. We don't even have to go. Just drop it in our mail slot.
Yeah.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Loki season 2. So, a lot we could talk about. First of all, did you like it?
Yes.
Okay. I liked it too. There's always some people who complain about it. I think it was kind of brilliant not brilliant, but the way they wrapped it up almost addressed the Jonathan Majors situation.
Yeah.
Because they're just kind of like, they even mentioned Ant-Man a little bit in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was one in 616 adjacent
Yeah.
realm, but they took care of it.
Yeah.
It was like almost like Kang's not a threat
Right.
anymore.
They just buttoned up Kang in here, so it's like...
Yeah, so it's not like this led into any big movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they kind of wrapped it up, and season 1 and 2 of Loki is just kind of one story for Loki.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of cool, and you could just watch the whole thing, both seasons, and you'll be satisfied, and you'll have a complete product.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. What else do I like about it? I like the fact that they really showed how powerful Loki can be, because it ended up with him being the god of stories, and which in the comics he becomes. And he pretty much became the TVA, right? He pretty much all time. Well, actually, more than that, he became the Loom. He's the living Loom.
What does that mean? Is he like that Watcher guy?
Kinda, sorta. And what I told you to write down earlier, we'll get into that.
Okay.
But
Oh, okay. I understand. No, you told me he's like the three-eyed raven.
yeah, he's like
he can see everything all at
he's
once.
like in Game of Thrones. Like he's more like kind of more akin to that. Except he's seeing different timelines, and so for those of you, he pretty much took all the timelines. The whole thing was basically a setup by the One Who Remains, or Kang, or whatever you want to call him, He Who Remains, to keep a sacred timeline that only he would be. He would kind of be like the only Kang,
Yeah.
and that's what everything was basically boiled down to. So all their efforts were basically part of his
to keep
plot,
one timeline. And
right? And that's
prune
how the
everything.
Loom was for.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll prune anything else. The only plot hole I think is that why didn't you just prune everything else anyway? Why did because the failsafe was if anything went wrong, the Loom, which was the invention
Mm-hmm.
that was made, would prune every other timeline except for the sacred timeline,
Uh-huh.
right?
Mhm.
Well, why don't you just start with that?
Yeah, but it kept branching.
I know, but why? If you have a machine that does that, why do you need a TVA?
Oh.
If you have a machine that can that can prune everything automatically and create one timeline, why don't you just set it to do that and it's like a rinse and repeat? You know what I mean? If it starts branching again,
Yeah.
boom.
What was the loop for?
No, well, what was the TVA agents for? Because they would send
Yeah.
that out. Oh, we got to get this variant. We got to do this. We got to do that.
Yeah.
Like, why go through all that effort when you just got a machine that can just do it for you?
I see.
It's kind of like you're sending people to different timelines to kind of nuke them when you have
A machine that
you have
can
your
do
own
that.
Skynet that does it for you. It's like
That's what they get for not using the AI.
Yeah, yeah.
Using humans. Just kidding.
So that's the only plot hole I think that I saw. But I think the story was good because it was more of anytime it's more of a character study, you can forgive like technical plot holes, right?
Yeah.
Because it was more about Loki maturing, and it started off with him in the first season being told that he was his only purpose was, he always said, "I'm here with glorious purpose," and he never achieved it throughout throughout the Avengers, for anything. He's never achieved it throughout all the Thor movies, and then finally he achieved it. And he was told in the season 1 that his only purpose was to make others great. But he actually became great. And all he wanted was friends. And yet he sacrificed his friends to be able to be with his friends so they could have their lives, which was very, which was probably the most benevolent thing you can do, right?
But how did he come to the realization that he was the one to keep the timelines or whatever?
I think because of the time slipping, I think there was like little hints dropped throughout, like when the older Loki says, we're more powerful than you think, and then he told that to Sylvie. Like he's a true god, like not just a trickster. And he's actually more powerful than Thor. But he was always in the physical, right? Thor was stronger. Thor had a hammer. He was always kind of second best. So he always thought that I have to trick my way into greatness.
Yeah.
When true greatness comes from sacrifice.
Yes.
And I think
he
that
sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
All he wanted was friends, but
now he's alone.
He's alone, but he got to save all his friends.
And he gets to see, and it's even worse than being alone because he watches them but can't really interact with them.
Yeah.
At least not now. We'll see if any of that changes in any upcoming movies or something. But as of right now, he's a king on the throne. He even made like another Yggdrasil, like the world tree. He made it look like that. Which is pretty cool. So yeah, I thought it was great. I don't know if it was a great series, but I think it was great only because it was unique and it was Marvel, and they didn't need like cameos. There was Loki, and then everybody else was a regular character. An original character within that series, right? So I don't even think there is, besides Kang, Jonathan Major's characters, and he played like 2 characters. There was nobody else who appeared outside of that series, besides Loki, and so that in itself takes a lot of resistance because it's easy to do cameos because people will watch if you just
people get excited.
It's like ooh, Daredevil, ooh, I guess I'll watch She-Hulk. It's like so it took a writer who had a lot of restraint to do that. Yeah. Because if I was writing, I'd be like, well, give me that, give me everyone.
Yeah. Hulk can show up.
Yeah, everybody. Even if it doesn't make sense. So I know I told you to write down earlier, so I don't forget.
Timelines versus universes.
Right. So the Jonathan Majors character, and we talked about Jonathan Majors earlier in this podcast. How does that affect everything, and why can they go on without him? So if you notice in season 2, when everything started branching, you notice they would say, it was a small scene, but it was a very important scene, and it's something that I discussed when we were recapping season 1, like a year or 2 ago. There's a difference between timelines and universes. Timelines are like universes, right? But if you see when they start branching, you see Mobius saying, well, I don't even know if he said it, but it was like, this is 616B. This was 616A-7. This was 616. The sacred timeline is the 616. Now, you notice in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, when they go to the other universe, it's not 616. Number. Yeah, it was like 847 or something like that.
That's a different universe.
That's a different universe.
Yes.
So any universe can have branching timelines.
Right.
But all of this had to do with the 616.
Okay.
All of Loki.
Yes. Not a different universe.
Yeah.
A different timeline.
Now, a timeline is kind of a universe because it has all the stars and planets and everything that would be, da-da-da. And also, it kind of coincides and reinforces what was done in Endgame. Because when Hulk went back, when the Avengers went back, but especially when Hulk went back and he's talking to
the Ancient One.
The Ancient One. And she says, well, my timeline is this, and this
is yours. Yeah.
It'll cause a branching timeline. Okay, that backs that up.
Yes.
They weren't in a different universe.
Got it.
So
I can see how people got confused.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Because when season 1 of Loki ended and the timelines were branching everywhere, they thought that would lead into the multiverse of madness where it's multiple multiverses. But that's different from timelines.
Yeah. But technically, a separate timeline has the same, could have the same properties as another universe. Like for intensive purposes, for an average person, it's the same thing. But from the outside looking in, it's different.
Yeah.
Right. So like a universe,
because Sylvie is a Loki.
Yeah.
In a different timeline, but the same universe. But it could be considered a Loki in a different universe.
Correct. Yeah, it's weird. It's confusing, but
just use numbers. 616, ABC.
Yeah, and that's what they did to do the timeline. So the timeline that Doctor Strange went into, where he fought the Illuminati, it could also have branching timelines.
Right.
Right. So each universe is actually a multiverse of timelines. So it's not necessarily it's a universe, but multiple timelines. But I can see why there's confusion because the TVA would call it a multiversal war. But what they were talking about is multiple timelines.
Yeah.
All within the 616. All I should say all branches of the 616. So every universe is a tree that can have multiple branches at any given time. And depending on the actions of humans, another branch will grow.
Yep.
Or not even humans, aliens, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything in that universe can create another branch, right? But the multiverse is a forest.
Yeah.
Full of trees, and each tree has different branches, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
An incursion is two trees running into each other, not two timelines.
Yes.
So that's where Secret Wars in the comics comes into play. Because there's timelines in the comics too.
Right.
But the actual Secret Wars, at least the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars, which is the most recent, which is involved incursions, was basically they designated Earth is the center of every universe. And what would happen is when two universes collided, two Earths would collide, and what they would have to do is if one universe dies, so if you blow up the other Earth, it destroys the other universe because it's the center of that universe.
Yeah.
So some people from that universe would try to blow up like our Earth, whatever, to save their universe, or they blow up the other Earth. But if you do nothing, both universes die.
So the incursion, what happened in Multiverse of Madness, where that one universe was going up in black ink,
is being destroyed.
That's an incursion because it collided with another universe.
Yeah. That at least in the comics, that's what an incursion was. I don't know if they're going to do any slight changes to the physics of it, in the MCU. But in the comic books, that's what happened. And I can see Loki coming back because he could be a big player, but he would only be playing for 616.
Yes.
So again, one tree versus another tree.
So I guess he's the keeper of timelines in 616.
Correct.
And the Watcher guy is the keeper of the universe. The
Multiverse.
whole multiverse.
Right.
Of all 616, 831, whatever.
Yeah. I believe, I
guess we have to watch What If Season 2. It's coming.
it
out
starts
today.
Yeah, the first episode, and it's going to come out every day
Mm-hmm.
in a row. I don't know. I think that they haven't really I don't remember the Watcher explaining it, but he did call them universes.
Mm-hmm.
So so that would be different, but we'll see. But I do think the way Loki wrapped up does help them. Again, they're failing upwards.
Mm-hmm,
They're kind of doing this stuff, and it's happening. It's going to happen to work out for them. So, for example, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Deadpool, because the rumor is, you remember at the end of Deadpool 2, he had a time device,
Mm-hmm.
Cable's time device, and he was going around fixing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the rumor was that he kills the Sony universe, but that would be a separate universe.
Killed his universe?
Sony.
Oh, the Sony universe.
Yeah. So then.
Oh, you mean the X-Men?
Mm-hmm. So that would be interesting, because there's one picture of him on set, and they have like the Fox logo.
Yeah.
Like it's destroyed.
The Fox universe. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
The Fox. Was it the Fox? Yeah.
The Fox universe,
yeah.
not the Sony.
Yeah.
Sony Spider-Man.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they kill the Sony universe. It's the
so
Fox
the
universe.
Fox universe, which is like First Class X-Men and
all the X-Men.
Rogue.
Pretty much all
chick.
X-Men movies.
Yeah.
And Deadpool. So yeah, we would, but we'll see how that turns into stuff, because they're backing that up with what happened in the end scene of the Marvels, which we will get to in another episode. But that was another universe too.
Yes.
We'll see how that ending coincides with Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of stuff that I think to pull from. And metaphorically, Loki did pull all the timelines together and into himself in the 616. We will see. I think they have a lot of stuff to work with. It's cool, because they got the X-Men, they got Loki, they got Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four. The question is timing, logistics, and good writing.
Yes.
But I think they could actually salvage the MCU and actually make it. I don't want to say you can make something better than Endgame or better than, all the stuff leading up to Endgame, but they can make something uniquely different that is just as satisfying.
Yeah.
And they don't have to. I mean, yes, it's a superhero movie. You do need good villains, but that doesn't mean every villain has to be the same.
Yeah.
And if they do go with Doctor Doom, they're going to need to build him up, so they may have to write some things differently. We did know that
they haven't mentioned him at all, huh?
No, they haven't. They just mentioned, some of the actors.
Because with Thanos, they mentioned him since
Avengers
1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, I give it like a 9 out of 10. But together, I'm actually giving it a 10 with season 1 and 2. Because I think season 1 and 2 is probably, I think it's the only Disney Plus show that had a second season so far, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked Loki season 1 better than WandaVision. That was ranked number 1 for shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give it 9.5.
Nice.
Both.
Yeah, all together.
Yeah.
I look at it as one product. Both
Yeah.
seasons, like a part 1 and a part 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so we purchased a very large Loki pen, and we'll put it. We'll take pictures of it, and we'll probably need to put something next to it so people can see how big it is.
Yeah.
It's actually like this. It's a figurine. It's the size
It's like
of
a figurine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the size of like an action figure.
Yeah.
But
it's a pen.
But it's a pen, and we got that at Elias and Co.
I think we got it so that we can get the magic band.
Yeah, I got it, bought it, and got magic band when they were giving the free magic bands with every purchase. Question is, when do we end this? And since we don't have anything, I'm trying to think. Let's do January 6th.
Okay.
because that would give us 2 weeks, a small giveaway. And all you have to do is direct message us, Facebook, Instagram, or info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. I don't know.
Glorious
purpose again?
Yeah.
I think we did that last time.
We did?
Yeah, we can do it again.
No.
No.
So
I think because it's the theme of the show, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, glorious purpose. Or I found my glorious purpose. Either or.
Just glorious purpose.
Glorious
Easier for
purpose.
me to do a word search
Yeah.
of whoever messaged me.
Yeah. So that'll end January 6th, 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Write that down, Gloria, because we always forget the date.
No, I did.
Yeah. And good luck. So yes, this is our holiday edition, and we'll have something before the New Year's. Not quite sure what. But I just want to play Save the City again.
That's funny.
But for now, I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.